Hey, what's going on, everybody? Verdi here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about dungeon gear. It's going to be more of like a beginner's guide to dungeon sets, which sets are good, what they can be used for, and things like that. So let's go over and take a look at the dungeons. There's three main dungeons for gear: Ice Golem, Dragon's Lair, and Fire Knights, and then Spider Den is for all the accessories. The dungeons are pretty much laid out the same way. There's 20 stages. There's 9 sets of gear in each stage. At stage 13, you have a chance to get 6-star artifacts, 4 to 6-star artifacts. This is pretty much like the first stage where you can start investing some energy into it. Then when you beat stage 15 and you can farm stage 16 and on in every dungeon, it stops dropping mystery shards and brews, so you can get just gear. This is the stage where you'll probably 16 to 17 is going to be like your first farming point, where you invest a good bit of energy to progress your characters more than you can with campaign gear. So you can push further into the dungeons. At level 20 of every dungeon, you start getting only 5 to 6-star artifacts. And obviously, if you can do stage 20, this is the best stage to do. Honestly, no matter how long it takes you, because getting 4-star artifacts a lot of the time is not going to be worth your time. All right, so now let's go over the sets in each dungeon. Like I said, every dungeon comes with 9 different sets. Let's go over Ice Golem first. First set here is Life set. You can farm this to stage 1 in the campaign as well, just no higher than green quality and maybe a blue quality from the boss. The 15% life, it's somewhat useful. But you're probably only going to use this if it has really good substats in the end game. For early game, this can be used on your healers and support units. But like I said, I don't really find myself using this too much in the end game. The offense set is decent, attack 15%. You can always use more damage on your damage dealers. Once again, in the end game, I don't use this one too often. And I don't honestly farm Ice Golem that much because the sets are somewhat basic. Then we have the defense set. Once again, self-explanatory, defense 15%. This set is also kind of meh. You can get this with one good roll of defense percentage on an item. So it's really not same thing with life and offense. So a lot of the time it's really not worth going for these sets. Critical rate. This set is a little bit better than the other 3 in my opinion. It gives you a 12% critical rate bonus. A lot of the time you might be missing a little bit of crit rate for your damage dealers. And in the early game, it's very useful to build your campaign farmer maybe with this. Something like Bellower, or even Kale, or either of the 4 starters could use this in the beginning with probably Lifesteal to get a little bit of extra damage to be able to clear those campaign stages and farm them better. Now the resistance set is a little bit more useful, I would say, but it is definitely more endgame. It is used mostly in defense resistance arena comps, and I mean, if you have really good substats on this, you could use it to help your champions resist debuffs in dungeons like Dragon and stuff. Defense down from Tyrell, and then Horden one-shotting you is usually a problem. So this could help you, but once again, I don't think that that it's like something you should go for. It's not something that you should force. You shouldn't like try to be like, oh, I'm gonna get 3 resistance sets on my character. like I said, unless you're doing some sort of a resistance defense comp for Arena. Retaliation set, 25% chance to counterattack when hit. It's okay. I think the Avenging set is better from Dragon, but this can definitely find its uses in PvP. I just don't like that it's 4 set. I think that it's always better to go with like speed or crit damage set or something like that on your DPS in Arena rather than Retaliation. Now Reflex is a very interesting set. I've used this on Maneater and Bad L. It's a 30% chance to reduce random skill cooldown. It is a 4 set, so you have to commit to it, but it can be very useful if you're trying to on champions where they have very on champions they have like unkillable, they have heals, they have revives, anything like that. I think Reflex set will be good on. Like I said, I personally used it on Bad L and Maneater, and it worked out really good. For DPS wise, like you might think of Reflex to lower the cooldown on Takedown, let's say on Royal Guard, or lower the cooldown on Heartseeker for Cold Heart. I would say that possibly Relentless could be better on Royal Guard because you get the extra hit, so you're getting more damage, plus getting the extra turn reduces the cooldown of your abilities anyways. So that's kind of how I feel about Reflex set. It's more for like support-ish units rather than DPS. But I'm sure with good substats, you could definitely make it work. Curse set is okay. It's a 4 set. It's really not. I really wouldn't ever recommend using a 4 set of this. You can use pieces for offset if they have good substats, but I think that would be the only use for that. And then the Taunting set, 30% chance to place a Provoke debuff. This is good on any tanky AoE hero that you want to take damage, but it doesn't already have Provoke. So like an example would be like Tyrell in Faction Wars. I'm actually considering throwing Tyrell in a Taunting set for Faction Wars so that I don't get my Royal Guard and my Arbiter targeted, and I can push to stage 21. But yeah, like I said, any tanky hero with an AoE ability that doesn't currently have taunt will be good. And you could do it on a tanky hero with single target moves as well, but I think it would be more effective on an AoE hero. Now, to break down Ice Golem, I don't farm Ice Golem much. I really only, when I'm doing this, I'm really mostly going for the Reflex set. I don't farm it very often because it is somewhat a pain in the butt. It doesn't take that long, but it sometimes fails. I think I have like a 98% chance to win team now, but stuff always happens in Golem. So I think it's like one of the harder. It's not a hard dungeon to beat stage 20, but to get it on like a quick farm, I think that it is one of the harder dungeons. And for the sets that come with it, it's really not that worth it. Like I said, I think Reflex is the best one in it. All right, so let's go over Dragon. It has 9 sets again. This is pretty much the dungeon that you're going to spend most of your time in. Endgame, beginning of the game, mid-game, it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to farm Dragon the most likely. The best, most useful gear comes from Dragon, in my opinion. We can start with the accuracy set, self-explanatory, accuracy plus 40. Very useful until you can start farming Spider for the accuracy banners. This saved my life on Clan Boss in the beginning of the game. Speed, probably the best set in the game. Honestly, not one of the best, the best set in the game. All your arena boosters are probably going to be wearing 3 sets of this. You always want more speed. You're going to be farming for this gear with speed substats the whole time you're playing this game. And if you're not, you're probably doing something wrong. Excuse me. So Lifesteal, also one of the most useful sets in the game. Heals by 30% of damage dealt. It can be used on your first campaign farmer. It is mostly used on every clan boss character that you have, paired with War Master and Giant Slayer. This set is absolutely amazing. Destroy set, it is not very good. I actually have never used a full set of Destroy on a character full time. I tried it out. It wasn't very good. And I only use the pieces with really, really good substats. Toxic set, I think that this set should be, well, if we put it to 5% poison, it could be too strong, but it is a 4 set. I think that this should just be a 2 set, and you get a 50% chance to place a 2 for 5% poison debuff. I think that will be alright, or that would make it better, because currently, I don't think it's worth using, unless you're doing some sort of a comp where you might need a little bit of extra damage to get you by. I'm actually going to probably use this set on Painkeepers for the unkillable clan boss to get a little bit of extra damage after the patch 1.13 goes out. But besides that, I don't really use this or recommend using this unless it has really good substats for just like offset pieces. Frost set is really good. I use it on Molly. You can use it. I used it on Crimson Helm for a while. Pretty much an AOE hero with a provoke. This works really well on. It provokes the enemy to attack them. Then they attack the enemy. Then the enemy attacks you, and the enemy has a chance to get frozen. This is not to get confused with you attack. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, how come this is not working on my attacker?" It only works when you get attacked. So it is not an offensive set. It is a defensive set. So do not make the mistake of putting this on a DPS character. Day set is kind of worthless. Sleep is not very good. A lot of the times you have debuffs like poison and stuff like that that will wake the enemy up. So I don't recommend going for this set as well, especially because it's a 4 set. We use this only with really good substats, kind of like the other not so good sets. Avenging set is actually really nice. 30% chance to counterattack when hit with a critical hit. This is nice for arena because most of the time everyone has 100% crit. People use this on Skullcrown and AoE characters like that. You could probably use this on Delaware as well, arena for like a beginning build. It's definitely not a bad set. It is a 4 set, so you definitely want to make sure that it has good substats, speed, accuracy, crit, all that other good stuff that you might need. And obviously the right main stats on chest, gloves, and boots. Stalwart set is amazing. Minus 30% damage taken from enemy AoE attacks. This is really good. This could be used on like a speed comp on Clan Boss with Duchess and Valkyrie. It could be used on Coldheart in dungeons. It's actually a very good set. It just does need very good substats because you're not getting anything else from it. So yeah, as I said before, Dragon is probably the best dungeon to farm. Some of the most useful sets in the game come from it. And you definitely want to get your hands on as much speed, gear, lifesteal, even Stalwart as you can get. Alright, and let's go over Fire Knight. Fire Knight, in my opinion, has like the most endgame gear. Your DPS are going to get a lot from this, from the crit damage and the Savage set. It is definitely an endgame gear dungeon, though. Don't do this too early. You're better off doing Dragon. But the sets in here, some are amazing, some are not so good, and we're gonna go over them right now. Fury is not very good, in my opinion. I don't use a full set of it. You can use it with good substats. Curing, same thing, not so good at all. When we go to Immunity, on the other hand, this could be very useful in Arena, and in certain dungeons. It is only, oh no, it is a 4 set. It is a 4 set, so it is an investment. And I honestly haven't used it too much personally, but I think that it could be useful. It is not bad like Fury or Curing. Shield set is amazing. any character with high hit points. You can use it on Sir Nick. You can use it on Zelata. There's definitely very many uses. Honestly, on any support champion as well, this could be good on, because it provides an ally shield for 3 turns, 30% hit points of the champion that is wearing it. So stacking a champion with a lot of hit points can make this shield very, very big, and it's a very useful set. All right, so we have we have crit damage. Crit damage is one of the best sets for your DPS. The 2 set gives you 20% crit damage. This is especially good if you don't have substats with high crit damage. Do not try to force this set though, because if you do get good substats, you could get a piece of gear with 20, 21, 22% crit damage. And if you have that, it is not worth just forcing this set if it doesn't have good substats. But itself alone is very good, because if you have good substats, it will just add onto the damage that you are doing. So in my opinion, it's very good. I use it on Royal Guard. I use it on Mountain King. I use it on Cold Heart. At least 2 pieces. I've definitely found very good uses for this particular set. Frenzy. It's a 4 set plus 10 turn meter for every 5% hit points lost. This is a very interesting set. I haven't used it too much, but I just recently got Hakon Smash Lord, so I would like to try it out on him. It could probably also be used on Maneater and Blind Seer, I think. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have found any uses for Frenzy. I might do specific guides on certain sets. If you guys want something like that, let me know in the comments below, and I can show gameplay and stuff like that. And then we have Regeneration. Regeneration is 4 set, heals probably 10% every turn. Not very good in my opinion. I haven't really used it too much. You could keep pieces with really good substats, but a 4 set, I don't really think it's worth it. Stun sets, really, really good. Any hero with an A1 AoE, super good on. So I use it on Skartosis. I use it on Sylar. I used it on Bad-El. I currently use it on Tormund as well. It's a very, very good set. You can use it on Bellower. It can help you clear dungeon waves because of the utility that it provides. It is somewhat RNG-ish, but I feel like you need stun sets for certain faction wars, just to make the waves more doable, because those mobs in there do a ridiculous amount of damage and have lots of hit points and defense. So it's definitely nice to be able to CC them. And then Savage, probably one of my favorite sets in the game, ignores 25% of enemy defense. This set is amazing. It's probably worth like 60 to 80% crit damage. It is absolutely awesome. It does ridiculous damage with Cold Heart and Royal Guard. I think it's like pretty much the set that I'm currently going for in here would be Stun and Savage. I farm Fire Knight for these 2 because I want to get some really good sets for it. Definitely Savage, one of the best sets in the game. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the Fire Knight sets. As I've said earlier, stage 13 is kind of the first stage you can start farming. It starts dropping 4 to 6 star artifacts. After 15, 16 doesn't drop Bruise and Mystery Shards, and at 20 you get 5 to 6 star artifacts. Fire Knight's more endgame gear. Dragon you farm forever, and Ice Golem is, I guess, mostly situational gear. I personally haven't spent too much time in there, and I don't recommend you do as well. I feel like the other 2 are much better. I think that's it. Let me know in the comments below if you would like me to cover some different things about this. I will be definitely doing a separate guide on dungeons and how to beat each one. But I think that does it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yo, peace.